Good evening, and welcome to the Petersburg By Night podcasting network. Tonight, we present to you our Vampire the Masquerade chronicle, Bloody Strings.
Welcome to another Pete by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Bloody Strings. I am your storyteller, Devlin, and these are my lovely players. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello, I am Noree, and tonight I'll be playing Bellatrix, the Malkavian.
And I'm Kyrie, and I'm playing Grei Novak, Warrior with Big Dreams.
Hello, I'm Kendall. I'm playing Maggie the Hakata.
Hello, I'm Lekar, and I am playing Halden, the neurotic mess of a Toreador.
Hello, I am Truckexe, and I am playing Nicholas, the even more man of mystery.
Hey, I'm Mew, and I'll be playing Sophie Clews, the malted milkshake Malkavian.
Thank you very much. Now, last we left off, the Coterie had a meeting at Elysium with Keeper Edwin Kane. Some things were brought to light, some information revealing some of the origin of Edwin, having connections from Chicago who very clearly have it out for him. And learning that the seeming antagonist of your story is Truckexe, a Nosferatu, second childer of Khalid. After having this discussion, Edwin kept Nick behind for a moment to discuss whether or not, discuss the apparent history the two of them had that Nicholas did not quite recall. The group broke off in different directions, started handling their own business, which ended where we will be picking up with Nick or Lyndon fleeing from his newly established business after being nearly taken out by his former ghoul, Alex. As you flee from the building, Nick, where do you go from here?
Lyndon's currently at a loss. A roiling set of emotions that don't feel quite right and yet feel right at home at the same time. But he does remember, for the moment, the dolly is safety. He's still racking his brain on where he can go and what to do in this moment, trying to shove down these unwelcome thoughts as he focuses on what's most important. Staying alive, for lack of a better word.
So your intention is to go to the dolly?
At least for a moment. At least a place that he can gather thoughts and plan somewhere else to go. The night's kind of caught up, and his confidence is currently a little shaken.
Okay. The dolly is not far from where your domain is. It won't take you long to get there. Give me a wits and awareness.
That is an 8 with a crit.
You notice that someone is following along on the rooftops. You're pretty confident as Alex.
Do I get the sense I could even make it to the dolly?
Give me what's an insight.
I'm going to spend a will. That is 5 successes.
You know how, at least knew how decent a shot Alex was. You're pretty sure at this distance it's something he could do, but you are, at the moment, keeping to busy areas. There's not a whole lot of secluded spaces, especially if you keep to the main road, that he could take advantage of. I think you realize that he's not going to make a scene.
As Lyndon is contemplating this, he's making sure to stay around people. But his eyes will keep shifting up there. And he's having trouble trying to reason, trying to logic it, to figure out a path. Especially in his head, he keeps hearing coward, failure, monster. And it's actually all he can do not to lash out, like, expressively at such intrusive thoughts, distracting him from the clear and present danger. Finally, Lyndon, to himself, thinks that's enough. And to try to silence it all, he's going to try to use premonition to find a way to get to enough safety to make a better plan.
Give me an sorry. Rouse the blood, and then resolve an aspects.
Yep. And also, I'd like the blood search. Lyndon needs to survive.
Go for it.
It's hungrier on the regular. Does not get hungrier on the blood search. That is a 9 with a messy.
Nine with a messy. You know, actually, I'm not going to roll for that. You get a messy. Your premonition pops off. As you kind of enter the space that there are plenty of people trafficking through, taking a moment. Your vision kind of tunnels. And suddenly, it's almost as if you're not receiving so much of a vision as much as there are things beginning to kind of manifest about you. You see that there is almost like a bright light seeming to manifest over your head. That seems to be kind of pulsing. And when it does this, you see it pinging off of Alex on the rooftop. And I'll say with the messy crit, you gather he doesn't have to see you to find you. He's holding something that's glowing, resonating with what it is that is popping over your head. He can find you. Mechanically speaking, this is the sense the unnatural ability.
Hiding is pretty much pointless. And then steadies himself, staying outside a busy bar, the little walkway outside of a busy bar nearby. Just staring up, trying to think. As he's thinking, once more unbidden, you did this. You turned him against us. You took my friend. And quiet now. We need to survive. Despite the calmness of the tone, he feels it. He feels the pain. As much as it's unwelcome and he doesn't want to acknowledge it. In his mind, Adali is still the best chance he has. He's going to pull out his phone and request an Uber to the Dolly, staying near the bar.
You call for an Uber. It takes a little bit to get to you. And you don't see him move from that space. Sitting so still that you almost a couple times have to, when you glance away, have to take a moment to refocus. After a while, the Uber, roughly 2 minutes away, you see him slowly stand to his feet. You see him reach, and you see him drop something off of the roof, and then turn and walk away.
I will say, at that moment, Lyndon feels probably one of the greatest pangs of just pain at his core. And we'll go to see what he dropped.
You go over and you find a folded piece of paper. On that paper, you see an address. One you visited not so long ago. Your wife's.
Lyndon tries to clamp down. Tries. But I'd say almost as if he's not controlling his hand. He makes the adjustment on the Uber to go there, and has already confirmed it before the Uber gets here. Even as he visibly growls at his phone.
Your Uber arrives. You get in the vehicle, and it begins taking you. What's on your mind as you are approaching?
Lyndon is tapping with his right hand on his knee. Which belies the storm in his head right now. Those unbidden words, that false pretense. And even as he's thinking and trying to consider, trying to plan, it's like the tempest has its own hands. And he hears it. You gave up. You might have made me, but you gave up. You coward. You gave me the reins. You created me, and I existed, and you fell to dust. You bastard. You think that you could have made me so strong against anyone trying to control me, and I'm just going to let go? And he shakes his head. And tries to adjust himself, trying to shut it out. It was just a mask, right? It was just a mask. He's far too important and far too strong to give in to such a weak fallacy. Yes. Yes. Nothing but a figment. I'm no figment anymore. And it just keeps going like that. Lyndon trying not to acknowledge himself, an imagination he doesn't know yet, already having to face some kind that he doesn't really want to care about either. At least he thinks he doesn't. But he can't deny that he's as drawn. He knows he's as drawn. He feels it. It is a true tug of war. Maybe not for control, but it does feel like he doesn't know himself like he should.
About this time, you pull up at the address. You look up and you see the window that you left out last time you were here is open. The only window open in the house.
Doesn't like the fear. He shouldn't be afraid of this, but he feels it. Like ice around a non-beating heart, squeezing. And he goes in like he did before. Careful. But needing to find out. To know.
You may what's
what
awareness.
he's not sure. Spending a willpower.
Mm-hmm.
It's 5 successes.
Okay. You make your way up top. You step into the room. You see the bed. You see the blanket pulled over as though somebody were sleeping beneath. And you see something that looks like a smashed object on the bedside table.
You will sniff, like. He's unable to tear his eyes away from the sleeping form, even as he walks towards the object. See what it is.
The object. Go ahead.
But every fiber wants to reach out. Not in anger, but in tenderness. As he still goes for the object.
The object you recognized is Alex's phone. Smashed and laying on the table. Next to it is a piece of paper. Travis is alive, is all that's written on it. That's when you notice that the form on the bed isn't breathing. There's no movement.
Lyndon. Nick reaches out. It's not even a fight. It's like an unstoppable force. As he just takes a very human inhalation and reaches out towards Samantha.
When you pull back the blanket. First thing you see is the hair. that falls down onto the clothed body, wearing like a simple gown. But this is when you notice that there's a weird shape to it. You reach over, put your hand on their shoulder, and pull them back. Your hand, when you make contact, there's a unnatural solidness to the touch. As you fully flip them over, there's a marionette dressed like your wife. I'm not going to make you spend XP for this. You gain a memory. And you also take a stain. Your wife died about 20 years ago. You remember the funeral. You remember visiting the grave. You remember your son telling you that he hates you and never wants to see you again. And then you snap back.
His back stiffens and his fingers clench onto the marionette. And the volume of bloody tears that runs down his cheeks. He doesn't keep it quiet. You gave up, you son of a bitch. I had... Go ahead.
No, go.
I had these memories. I had that love, and you threw them away. You ran away. You turned everything. I may be stubborn. And he's shaking the marionette as he lifts it. I may be stubborn. I may not give up. And I exist. And I have to suffer what you've done. You clearly deserve death. I don't care what the reason is. I'll find out. But you're not rid of me, Lyndon. You're not going to get away with whatever you've done. Not as long as I exist. And you can't get rid of me now. Feel what I feel, you son of a bitch. And he'll shove the marionette down. And for Lyndon, it's like a vacuum's pulled him back. Thunder and lightning sitting behind his head as he feels everything. And he does not know what to do with it. Just staring.
From there, we will shift away. Great. What are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm making a house call to Mr. Hodges.
You make your way to the neutral zone sometime in the previous week. You find... Well, give me what's an awareness.
Two successes.
something does seem a little different. First thing you notice, the fence is no longer there. That was around the yard. Second, you notice that there seems to be some kind of work being done at the location. You see that there are a couple of machines that got left where they weren't, people who were working weren't quite finished. Almost as if they are building on to the property, maybe. But you're not, from this vantage point, not sure where that might be.
Head up the walk. Knock at the door.
You hear a shuffling sound for a moment. And then everything's quiet. And the door opens. Grei! What a wonderful surprise.
Well, thank you. First off, produce a package, black gloss wrapped with a bow on top. This is for you.
Oh, you shouldn't have. Please come in.
But I needed to. Thank you. Are you adding to the house or having some foundation problems?
I've recently obtained a house guest, and I must make sure there's plenty of space.
I see. Anyone special?
That is yet to be determined. He lets you in, closes the door behind you. Invites you to have a seat on the couch as he sits in his chair.
Have a seat.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Well, I did want to bring you the gift, of course. It is. I don't want to spoil it, so if you don't want to open it yet, you don't have to.
Nearly forgot, and he reaches down and opens the present.
Inside is a book. The pages are handwritten. They are in Grei's print. It is a copy of the diary for that his child had left behind, or who we'd surmised was his child. I believe this belongs to you. Unfortunately, the original was confiscated, but I did what I could to transcribe it.
What a naughty boy. And he closes the journal and sets it down. That is...
I wanted you to be aware of, well, what's in the hands of those in the South now.
I do appreciate that. And having to go through his ramblings must have been interesting.
Educational at points. He has an interesting viewpoint.
Certainly. I imagine returning my dead child's words to me are not exactly your whole purpose of being here.
No, but your company is always a benefit. However, this isn't just a purely social call.
Go on.
There is a group of individuals we're going to be meeting here. Well, not here, of course, but in the neutral zone. And things could end up turning a bit sideways for us. I was hoping that I could count on your support. I don't know what you'd be able to give or willing. Even another set of eyes.
Interesting. Who are these individuals?
Well, they're from Chicago. A group of folks who apparently have a bone to pick with some of the well-placed individuals in the court.
Now that is interesting.
I
These
thought
people
you
from
might find it interesting.
These people from Chicago. Do they have any particular affiliation?
They do. And as near as I know, the person who is at the head of this organization is second child of the noted Khalid. Of the same city.
Yes. And you wish for my assistance in moving against these from Chicago.
Not against, sir. I wouldn't want to put you up against that. I don't even want to do it myself. But another set of eyes, and perhaps a pair of hands to pull me from a fire if it were necessary.
It is my understanding that you work for the Keeper of Elysium, or at least closely.
Closely. Not for him, but closely with him, yes.
This is a tall request indeed.
I understand that everything does come with a price. And for a request like this, I would be willing to pay considerably.
I don't think my request would be too out of the way for you.
I'm all ears.
There is a particular individual I find myself concerned with. What I would like for you to do is simply continue as you are. But any information that you gain from this Mr. Adams, I would very much be interested in anything toward his intention in this territory. He's not one to linger.
So you know about Victor then?
I know a few things.
I'd love to hear them. He is work in progress for me.
I know he abducted a kindred a couple months ago. An Anarch. Young. Not sure if you're aware. Have you heard the name Brighton?
I can't say that I have, sir. But I can ask around, for sure.
Well, maybe you've seen Victor's work at this point.
Oh, yes, I have.
Brighton was the latest model.
Oh, his most recent model. They have unfortunately cut ties.
Is that all?
It did not end well.
I see.
Victor is very particular about his models acting and behaving in certain ways. But he is... Well, he can be a taskmaster. Sometimes he doesn't know when to stop.
Interesting. Thank you. That has confirmed a few things for me.
I hope it hasn't completely given you a false impression of Victor. He's going through a very blue period right now.
Patterns are patterns. How long is his blue period?
Well, until he can find his muse again.
We're all murderers here. Who am I to judge? But Grei, I am a little concerned. You and I have only really just begun to get close. And now you're getting close to this Adams character, I must say. I'm a little concerned for your well-being.
Well, Mr. Hodges, there's plenty of love from me to go around, I assure you.
For now.
As I said, Victor is a project of mine. And I appreciate the concern. You're not the first who has expressed it. But I do know what I'm doing.
I'm sure you do. Just try not to become a project yourself. I will do what I can.
I appreciate that.
When is this meet supposed to happen?
Soon. I don't have the exact details, but I will send them along to you. As soon as I know. Oh, which reminds me, I have a new phone number if you've been trying to get a hold of me. That's the reason I haven't been answering. This whole business with Chicago has definitely made me have to rethink how I approach sending out my contact information.
Of course.
But for you, of course. If you have a pen, I can write it down for you.
He reaches over and underneath the table pulls out a drawer and hands you a pen.
Write down the number. Hand it back to him. My old phone is destroyed, and the account that went along with it has been cancelled. I couldn't run the risk of whatever they might have discovered getting out.
More than understandable.
I know I'm asking a lot. And I want you to know that if I find out that Victor has any intentions on this area here, you will be the first to know.
I'm sure you will. I will be there. For no other reason than I do enjoy making the Kyrie sweat from time to time.
It may be entertaining at that, although I should warn you, one of my associates is fairly gifted when it comes to seeing. You may need more than just the supernatural tricks to keep yourself hidden.
One of your associates, are you referring to the one who barged into my home?
Yes. And I can still not apologize enough for that.
Not yours to apologize for.
Except he is still an associate of mine, and so it reflects poorly on me.
Dear Nicholas is struggling right now. Do keep an eye on him.
I will do that.
It is difficult sometimes when dealing with an Icarus.
I like how informed you are, Mr. Hodges.
I do my best.
I wish I could be half as informed as you.
Just takes time.
Well, then I shall look forward to whatever is in the future. If the worst comes to worst, then well, hopefully I have you there to pull me out.
You stop by.
I
It is
am
dreadfully boring here sometimes.
having an issue with vessels currently, given the Chicago business. I promise I will bring the pumpkin spice back as soon as I can.
Gifts are not necessary, Grei. Your company's plenty enough.
Thank you. But sometimes I feel like gifts are my love language.
I've been hearing that more frequently lately. Do as you will. Just stay safe.
I will do my best. You have a good evening, Mr. Hodges.
You as well. Thank you for stopping by. I must tend to my house guest, however.
Yes, if you happen to need anything with redecoration or anything, I can suggest some very, very good people.
I'm currently renovating the basement.
Basements are rare in this part of the state.
Yes. Yes, they are.
I'm sure you've given it a lot of thought.
As much as I felt like.
Thank you, sir. And Grei will make his way to the door.
He opens the door and lets you out. I'm going to go ahead and request to pause the recording. Give me just 1 moment. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. I'm ready to pick back up. Are we still recording?
Crafty?
I want to assume that she stepped away and so it was still recording. But if that's not
We
the
also don't
case-
want to continue
Right.
Might would have
The
picked
power of editing. Oh.
Okay, I'm not getting a response, so I'm going to assume we're fine and just keep going. Worst case scenario, we're missing like 60% of the video later, and that's alright. As we shift away from Grei, we head over to another part. We head back south of the neutral zone. Maggie. What are you doing?
Maggie is currently in her mortuary again after reacquiring it. After making sure it was fully investigated and at least fixed up to a degree after it was set on fire. Would you say that she has assessed the damages done by now, or?
Yeah. There was some damage, but it wasn't significant enough that you can't use the space, but it is going to be under repair for a time.
Yeah.
Mostly just trying to... It's almost more cosmetic than it was structural. This was a mostly stone building that you're using at the moment.
There's probably just like some scorch marks in the front door is probably not that usable right now, but the actual storage part's probably still good in the back. So she would be getting ready to go through what she usually does when she feeds. She would look around to make sure she was safe. That now that she has acquired probably got her ghoul to assist her acquiring a corpse. And she would activate her Oblivion Sight to find the spirit that is likely attached.
Okay. You do find a spirit. Seemingly clinging to the space where the body is housed. See, Oblivion Sight lets you see. Okay. You find your spirit.
She will walk up with her sketchbook in hand, kind of position herself a little smaller, and like gently reach out to wave so that it can see that she can see it. Hello. What's your name?
Just a second. Okay. They are quiet for the moment, seeming to consider you. Dakota.
It's nice to meet you, Dakota. I'm Maggie. Do you know what happened to you?
No.
Okay. Where are you from?
Tampa.
Did you always live in Tampa?
No. Lived in Orlando for a time. Was visiting a friend in St. Pete.
Does your friend know you're here?
I don't know. Last thing I remember, I was starting to nod off in their car we were driving.
Maggie is going to look at the corpse. What is the state of it?
The corpse is pretty... You can say there are some clear, injuries, but still mostly intact. It looks like something broke the neck pretty violently. But other than that, the body is still in pretty good shape.
Okay. And your friend was driving? Or were you driving?
No, they were driving. We were heading back to their place. What happens now?
What happens now is you start a new adventure. Life is only one stage. Now you move on to the next. And I'm here to help you with that. Because sometimes it's hard to let go of what you were and what was.
How are you going to help me?
Well, since you are still here, I am going to help you by finding what is keeping you here. Sometimes people have unfinished business. Sometimes people need closure. from any number of things, big or small. Nothing is too small to hang on to in this life, or the next, or the one after that. Sometimes it's an emotion. Sometimes it's fear.
My brother might not know what happened.
I see. What's his name?
Garrett.
I'll make sure he knows. I'll make sure that he is able to find a way to cope with you moving the way you are.
Give me You know what? No, I will consider this part of your hunting goal. Spirit doesn't really say anything at the moment, but Dakota seems to acknowledge your answer.
Maggie will make a kind of nod down at the corpse, at the body, and then look back up to the spirit. May I draw you? You've been extremely damaged by the injury, the crash you were in. And I'm sure they will be able to fix things in post-mortem, but you deserve to be remembered as you were. Everyone does.
After a moment, they seem to take more of a human-like visage. Kind of shoulder-length brown hair. Kind of a soft, kind of round face. Kind of brown almond eyes. Very kind of sad but kind expression worn on their face.
Thank you.
After you spend time drafting this image, what comes after?
She will look down at the body again and then look back at him. If I may take something in exchange.
What do you need?
It is the penny you put in your mouth to cross the river Styx. It may taste like copper, but it is of the same metal. I would like to take part of you to sustain myself.
If it will help me move on.
It will.
She accepts.
And Maggie will take part of their body and start to and feel that hunger rise up, that distinct bestial impulse to give in, to tear, to rend, to rip, and push it down as she calmly eats from the corpse and then neatly sews it back up.
You finish your meal. You, in this time, knowing that the spirit hasn't fully moved on, the spirit has stepped away from this, making themselves no longer visible to you.
She will move to get to see the personal effects of the person, see if she can find an address or a phone number of this brother.
You do find Dakota's phone, which has her brother in it.
Okay. She will pass on the information to Dr. Corwin that this is the next living relative in order for the body to be claimed.
I will take care of it immediately.
It froze. I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I will take care of it immediately. Is there anything else?
Thank you, Dr. Corwin. I do not believe so.
He lowers his head, and then he steps away to his office to make a phone call.
And she will gently close her sketchbook and go about her business.
As you break away from your work, we will shift to another scene. Bellatrix, what are you up to?
Tonight Bellatrix is at Asylum, in one of the VIP rooms with Sarah, as she's underage, so she probably can't be seen downstairs. They've been going through training again. This time she's talking about more of the clans.
So you are having another lesson?
Yeah.
Okay. As you are seated with her, you've noticed over the last week or so, she has shifted from wearing light dresses and such. She is directly wearing a small suit.
Oh.
Still has little semblances of color through it. But when she's sitting down listening, she has her elbows kind of on her knees, her hands kind of fidget up under her chin a little bit while she's listening, but she is watching.
How are you feeling, Sarah? Lately?
I've been... I think I'm feeling better. I'm having fewer little memories pop up from time to time.
Okay. Noticed you changed your style again.
I never really liked dresses. My
Okay.
mom would always make me wear them, but they just weren't very comfortable to me.
A suit's more comfortable? I think, like, especially here in Florida, shorts. Maybe a pretty tank top.
I just always liked them.
Okay. Interesting. I don't spend much time around children, but I never thought children would like suits. Keep that in mind. So, do you have any questions about any of the clans we were speaking of?
Your clan, Malkavian.
Mhm.
There's something you associate them. They're associated with a broken mirror because they seem to be scattered in some capacity, at least as we see them. But this comes from a space of this web.
Yes, you could say that. We're all connected. Some more than others.
And you can connect with each other.
Or it's a mass delusion. I mean, we are all mad. I mean, have you seen Nick? And me?
Is he doing okay? He doesn't seem well.
I don't know, honestly. He's going through some things, and I don't know how he's going to turn out in the end.
All of these little differences that the clans seem to exhibit
So, from what I understand things I've researched, it's all about the blood. The blood of our predecessors affect us. And our personality starts being driven by the blood in some cases. Sure, we maintain parts of our personality when we were mortal, but I think the longer we go, the more the blood affects how we act and think.
So your blood is different than my blood.
Yes, we have a different ancestor, you could say. Yours was more kingly, controlling, probably had a stick up his ass. Oh. Mine broke at some point. Mentally. And then just went with it. But he was also supposedly great at seeing things. Like a great oracle. So maybe he knew he was going to break and didn't care. Or maybe the seeing things broke him. I really don't know. Most of it's considered myth, legends, kind of like the Bible.
So, you are able to see things because of your blood.
Yes. A lot of the things you can do is connected to your blood.
So there's no way for me to see things.
Oh, there is. You could learn to do so. As much as we have different ancestors, we still are the same kind. We're all kindred. Which means the blood still holds the secrets of the other lines. But you just have to get a taste of one of those bloodlines in order to be able to do what they do.
So if I taste someone's blood that has these gifts, I can learn these gifts.
Yes. That does not mean go eating people. There's a lot of consequences for that.
I wouldn't. Not what I was saying.
Okay. But sometimes trades are made. There is a cost with it, on most. The blood not only guides us, it also has an effect on us. We tend to have feelings, kind feelings for the ones we drink the blood of. So if you were to drink my blood, you would have kinder feelings for me, or more tender feelings. And the more you drink, the more it grows.
So someone drinking my blood would have the same effect?
Yes.
Seems everything that we are is designed to manipulate.
Well, we are predators, so.
I think I would like to be able to see things.
Okay. First, you would need to drink my blood. But then I can guide you on how to be able to see things that more normal people can't see.
Is that something you'd be okay with?
Yeah, I could be okay with it.
If you are open to it, I would like to learn that ability.
All right.
I think it would make doing the hunting the people I like to hunt easier.
Okay. I'll take a hairpin out and cut my hand. Would you like to try now?
If you're sure.
Yeah.
She takes her hand.
I'll let her drink.
How much do you let her drink?
A point.
Okay. Give me... She doesn't immediately stop when that first point happens. How do you go to push back? Or
So
how do
you
you
have her...
approach breaking away?
I actually cut my hand instead of my wrist or anything, so I'm actually gonna loop in under her like lip and just like pull.
Okay,
That's
considering
enough.
your approach. Give me... You can do strength and brawl. You're not like you're physically harming them or anything, but you can do strength and brawl, and I'll let you add a die
Okay.
for method.
Hold on. 2 successes.
Two successes. The difficulty was low because this is only the first thought you allowed. She pulls back. Oh, sorry.
Gonna have to work on that control a bit.
Yes. It tastes different.
Different than
My sire. His was kind of rich, but it felt sick, almost. Like there was something wrong with it, but yours didn't have that.
something wrong with it.
When I drink blood, normally it's great. I guess normal. I'm not rightly sure, but it tastes right. Like there's nothing. Like it's right. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. But when I drank Jacob's, it was like there was a richness to it, but it was sour, bitter. I almost had to choke it down.
Interesting. I haven't heard of that before. I'm gonna have to look into it.
Okay. So, what do I do?
All right. I'm going to activate Unseen Senses. Come on. Let's go for a walk.
She follows you.
I'm actively we're going to go out and maybe look for a ghost or something. Something that other people normally can't see.
Okay. Go ahead and give me what's in the specs.
Okay. Seven successes with a crit. I also blood surged.
as you are walking around, you find yourself getting a little closer to the dolly. Not quite at the territory, but nearby. You notice something glowing on a little sidewalk going into an alleyway.
Okay, I want you to concentrate. I'm gonna move closer.
Okay.
Okay. So, you're gonna have to unlock the other senses in your head. It's like a muscle. You kind of have to release it and let your vision just blur a bit. And when it starts to shift back and focus, you may be able to see something that wasn't quite there. You should be able to see a glow. Tell me if you can see it. And point out to where it is.
I'm going to spend the XP from her pool and take the ability. After a few moments, she kind of I can kind of see something. It's a little light, and as you turn to look at it, you see it appears to be like something was carved into the stone, but that carving is glowing vibrantly. And as you look up, there's a couple more going down the alleyway.
Come on. Tell me what else you see. We're gonna head towards the alley.
Okay. She seems to be kind of linking up to the same ones as you. But at a certain point, she stops and she is looking around. She kind of, this looks like the end of it. However, with your roll being as high as it was, you notice that the wall next to the final little sigil on the ground seems to be glowing a bit.
I'm gonna get a closer inspection on the sigils.
Okay. Give me a intelligence and occult.
Three successes.
Based on some things that you found back when you were operating in the library in the neutral zone, Benjamin's library, you found certain information, things that were brought to him, little images, little sketches that people did from things they saw, indicating a mage's cache. A space where mages were tucked away and hiding back during the conflict with St. Pete.
Okay. So there's just a portion of the wall glowing?
Roughly the shape of a door.
And how far is this from the dolly?
Like a block.
Okay.
If that.
So it's definitely out of our territory.
It's between.
It's between our territory and the dolly. Okay.
A block might be a bit right. It's like across the street, a couple alleys in.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I need to check on a flaw.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that this would trigger my knowledge hungry magic flaw?
How is knowledge hungry worded?
Okay, so you always feared you wouldn't have the time to learn everything you wanted to about what's truly important. Well, that's one problem solved. The time learned is not always now, though, and you regretfully put a bookmark in your studies and attend to more life-threatening matters. Character creation, pick a topic that your character hungers to study, which is magic. When your character comes across books, tutorial videos, college seminars, or other methods of learning about their chosen subject, make a willpower roll at difficulty 3 to resist chasing their obsession.
I would say so.
Okay. I thought so. That's why I had to look it up. I'm having a brain fart. Do I actually use hunger dice on willpower rolls? Anybody remember?
Been a minute since I had to have some rolling. Hang on a minute.
Right, that's why I was like, wait a minute.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I am going to do something.
Alright.
I'm going to increase your difficulty a little bit
Okay.
as a premonition pops off. As you're looking at this door, you suddenly begin to see these shadows beginning, like the contrast between the door, light from the door, and the wall around it begins to deepen as it seems like these long, spindly shadows begin to reach out from behind the door and curve inward.
Okay.
I'm going to say take one more penalty.
Okay. I'll just put a willpower to reroll. 3 successes, so I don't think I make it.
You do not. Okay. So what do you do?
I'm going to search around the door looking for a way to open it. To Sarah, I'll be like, there's a door here. I want to see what's behind it.
I don't see anything.
Sometimes things are a little more hidden.
I see. You begin kind of examining, feeling around for a door. And when you put your hand over the space, your hand seems to not touch anything solid.
Interesting. Turn around. Okay, you have a choice. It might be dangerous, so you could come with me. Or you could go back to the tea shop.
If you're gonna let me pick, I'd rather go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. You step through the wall and into a small room. As you turn back around, you see a series of sigils going around what appeared to have been a door that they have removed to create this illusion. As you continue to inspect the space, you see a series, on the wall across from you, there are a series of computers. Or computer monitors, rather. You see that there is a hard drive, like an external hard drive hooked up, resting on the desk. You see that there is a duffel bag on the right side of that desk. And you see that there is a piece of paper that seems to be scribbled on, sitting in front of the keyboard.
I'll go look at the paper. Oh, keep going.
You're good. On the right side of the room, you see what appears to be a small bench. And on that bench seems to be a few little rings of different types of metal. And a looks like a shell made out of a unique glass, maybe. kind of in the shape of like a dodecahedron.
I'll go to the keyboard first in the note.
The note has just a couple of scribbled bits of info. Run supplies to Spear. Uses a lot of like weird little code names. And then boss needs new anchor. Underlined like 3 times.
Boss needs what?
New anchor. You do notice that the power to the computer is on.
I'm gonna hit it to see if it is just sleeping.
It opens right up. You see all of the monitors light up, just like the simple blue desktop background, but there only seems to be one application that is visible on the desktop, and it says the Dolly.
Gonna click on it.
When you click on it, immediately on every monitor, several blank screens pop up, but you recognize these to be possible video feeds. Give me what's an insight.
Four successes.
It dawns on you that these can't have a current feed. Edwin overhauled a lot of the security for the Dolly. So unless somebody was here to maintain whatever that connection is, that was lost when he updated everything. However, you know that that update didn't take place until after Benjamin was dealt with. You knew the Mages thing took place long before you came here. And there's likely some footage here that Edwin probably might not want someone seeing.
How long does it... I'm going to inspect the room, like, for dust and things. How long does it look like someone has...
There's a thick coating of dust on just about everything. This place seems like it's been abandoned. There are spots like by the door where things have just kind of blown in with the breeze and things along that line. This room, it's pretty dirty for the most part, and it is very clearly not been used in a long time.
I'm gonna walk over and look at the dodecahedron metal pieces.
Yeah. You see what appears to be about 9 different types of metal, like formed into rings with little encryption sigils inscribed on them. Roughly smaller than the shell that they were going to use and that you're going to place them in. Mm-hmm. You can give me an intelligence and occult.
Okay. Three successes.
You are not sure what this is, but you do recognize when you were given information about, or when you were looking for information about the mages and that possible ritual that took place between the Tremere and the Akata, you found that there was a multiple references to an oddly shaped device that the kindred were having to look for. And this does resemble that, possibly.
Turn around. Sarah, I need a favor.
Yeah.
I shouldn't take you too long. I'd like you to walk back to the tea shop. Bags, backpacks.
Okay. Sure.
I'll be here. But you could bring them back to me. We're gonna pack this stuff up.
Yeah, okay. She walks over to the door, and before she leaves, you hear a small, like, strained effort, and then you hear something fall to the ground and shatter.
Turn around.
She's not in the door. This is as she's leaving.
I'm going to look at where this shattering sound came from.
You step outside and take a look in. She seems to have shoved a couple of bricks out of the wall, hard enough for them to shatter on the ground, so that she can mark where the door is.
Good idea.
And she's gone.
While she's gone, I'm going to be unhooking the computer. I do not have the knowledge of computers enough to be able to get everything off of this, but if I take it with me and I find someone who does, like Nick, if he's not predisposed to Linden, or someone else, might be able to get something. But if I need to roll, I can use my Starfall Ranch ability, the herd mindset ability, to gain 2 dots in technology.
This is to remove the computer or use the computer?
To remove it. I am just removing the tower. Or the
Easy enough.
device. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, it's pretty simple to unhook a computer, so.
Yeah.
That's coming with me. The monitors, they can stay.
Do you take the hard drive?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm taking the hard drive and the computer, because it might have a hard drive on it, from what I understand. And then the dodecahedrons pieces, because I want to study those more.
After a little bit, she comes back with the bags. Here you are.
Thank you. Okay, I will slip the hard drive and the computer in one of the bags, and then gently start placing the dodecahedron pieces and possibly wrapping them if I need to.
You get everything put in the bag. She's kind of watching you. What are these? Are these important?
They're related to something I was researching months ago that I had to delay due to current circumstances. But this is a surprising find, so I'm going to take it with me, and when I get a chance, I will return to my research.
Is it delayed because of me? Is it something I can help with?
No, not because of you.
Okay. She picks up one of the bags. Where are we taking them?
We'll just take them home.
Okay.
The people spying on us actually break into my home. I have bigger problems anyways.
As you head back to your home, the scene shifts. Sophie. What is Sophie doing this evening?
So this evening, Sophie is at a charity concert festival. It is Chords Against Colon Cancer. She was looking for a little bit of entertainment. It's also for a very good cause, which she didn't really know much about cancer, but now that she's learned of it, she wants to help as much as she can. And she attempted to do some hunting there. But after taking a young man behind a porta-john and getting a taste, it tasted very strange. And so she promptly left that person and is attempting to walk through the crowd.
You go walking through the crowd. This weird taste still kind of in your mouth. Walking through the individuals, kind of dancing, enjoying the music. As the music crescendos, the boundaries of the stage and the venue dissolve. The band seems to take this more ethereal presence, their movements leaving trails of light that kind of linger in the air. The lyrics of the song seem to almost be reverberating with you, unraveling all of these with each strum, weird distortions on the faces of the crowd around you. After a moment, what feels like a moment, you find yourself in the heart of this whole crowd. A lot of people, kind of a mixed group of kind of like hipsters and Gen X kind of rockers kind of hanging out in this area. As the Grateful Dead cover band is playing on the stage. Give me a wits and awareness, but please take a 2-die penalty.
That is 2 successes.
Okay. As you're kind of looking about, occasionally you spot a face that doesn't seem distorted, sticking out like a sore thumb amongst the crowd. Kind of a slim face, wearing a derby hat, a kind of groomed goatee that seems to sparkle in the lights about. And just as quickly as you spot it, it disappears in the crowd. You spot it again a few moments later, and the contrast between this individual and the faces around begin to make the other faces seem more almost violent. One moment. Based off of the resolve and composure roll I made you make before the start of the session, things begin to escalate. You begin to see people vanishing into mass shapes, almost disappearing amongst each other as things begin to turn into a wall of color. Weird shapes beginning to manifest in the lights and in the wave. Am I having a technical issue? Okay. Hold on. Yeah, pause the recording. I think my internet's about to go out. Give me a moment. Thank you.
And go.
Yeah, so you are witnessing all of these people seem to kind of blend together into a weird wall of colors and shapes. And you are beginning to feel something inside you beginning to stir. And the moment that you are getting ready to have to make a frenzy check out of the overwhelming sensation you're experiencing. Sorry, my internet went down. I have to pull everything back up. Right. I need a intelligence and resolve. Or you can opt to fail.
Do I still have a penalty for that?
You do.
Okay. Two successes.
As you are beginning to succumb to frenzy, suddenly this person, this face that you've been seeing, steps in front of you, makes eye contact. How about you have a seat and settle down? And you immediately sit down on the ground.
Excuse me, I don't mean to alarm you, but it seems that the skin is melting off of everyone around us.
He sits down and kind of crosses his legs in front of you. Now that you're getting a clear look, he's wearing kind of a plaid multicolored jacket over a green button-up and a purple bow tie. He's wearing kind of brown slacks and little loafers, and he kind of tilts his head. That is because you drank blood from somebody at this concert, which I must say is a wild choice. Are you having fun?
I don't, what do you, refer to? Why is this concert bad? The music's very interesting. It's all entwining together.
You are having fun.
I would have more fun if there weren't snakes all over your jacket.
Fascinating.
The moving lines, or they don't have eyes. I guess they aren't snakes, but why are they squiggling?
He looks down and then back up to you. What is your name?
I am Sophie.
Sophie. I've been looking for you, Sophie.
Oh, good. Are you going to help me with all of their skin? I'm worried if we don't get them attention quickly enough. Maybe you could get one of the nurses to help them.
I'm afraid you're probably going to have to ride this out for a minute. But I might be able to help a little bit.
Oh, I don't have a horse near here.
Well, neither do I. We'll just have to walk. He stands up and offers his hand out to you.
I will hesitate a moment, looking at the hand, and then Sophie takes the hand.
He slowly pulls you up to your feet, As you are walking, give me a wits and awareness.
With the penalty, it's 2 successes.
You notice that you keep kicking things as you're being guided through the area. And you kind of have a moment of clarity. There's a lot of people lying face down on the ground around you as you were walking.
Sophie will look down. I apologize. There's not a lot of room for my feet. Sorry, as she is trying to step around these bodies.
Oh, they're asleep. Just ignore them. He continues to guide you until you're away from the crowd. You also notice you don't hear the music anymore.
Sophie will look at the stage.
You see the performers lying down face down.
I don't smell any. I don't smell any uranium. Why are they all on the ground?
Uranium. Interesting. No, I just told them to take a nap.
Oh, that's maybe I should take a nap. I'm just my head is feeling, I don't know, it's like a string at the back, and it feels like someone's just pulling on it. It's almost like I'm falling asleep.
Of course. A nap will come soon. But we do need to see about getting you properly fed, though. Almost had an incident in a very public space.
Oh, I'm not that hungry. I'm a little parched, but I will be all right for tonight. I think I really need a bed or to close my eyes. It's all the circles.
Very sure I have a house guest in my home who specializes in pumpkin spice.
I do love pumpkin pie. It's actually it's a favorite of mine.
A good
I'm
friend.
not sure I would enjoy it
introduced
now,
me.
though.
I understand. I do. As I did say before, I have been looking for you. I was hoping you could perhaps sober up in my home, and then I can properly relay what I need to. I understand that you are Duncan's associate?
Oh yes, Duncan.
Yes.
You know Duncan.
He came to me a couple months ago seeking help.
Oh, wonderful. Have you heard from him?
I have not.
I'm very worried about him. Especially if his skin is also melting. That would be terrible.
That would be terrible. Well, how about we go get you a place to kind of cool off for a moment, and we can discuss Duncan.
Alright, yes, maybe water would help with all the... It feels like there are bugs all over, but I don't see them.
There are no bugs. You're just tripping your balls off.
It feels like tickling.
He continues guiding you, and he takes you a little further north. You are brought into kind of like a little small not so like designed to replicate a suburban neighborhood, but much more poor. As you are brought into the area, he guides you in to the house, opens the door. This is my home.
Yes, well, it's very nice with do you have a waterfall on your front side there?
Those are just stairs.
Oh. Wonderful. Stairs aren't great once you're old and your knees don't work that well, but stairs are good.
Yes, they are. In you go, and he kind of puts his hand on your shoulder and guides you into the house. Closes the door behind you. There. My name, you can call me Mr. Hodges. He kind of guides you over and sets you on the couch before moving to the chair across. I brought you here because this would be a safer space to discuss kindred dealings.
Oh, yes.
So, you stay here. I am going to get you some blood. And then once you're feeling a little more clear-headed, we'll have a discussion.
Yes, wonderful. That sounds wonderful.
He comes back with a little chute full of blood, sets it down in front of you. And then you see him turn and then step down into what appears to be a basement. The door closes behind him, and he leaves you with the blood. Whether you drink it or not, you have a little bit of time where you are alone here at the moment. What is on Sophie's mind?
Sophie is going to activate Sense the Unseen to look at the blood in front of her.
As you're looking at it, it just looks like blood. Just kind of like in a champagne chute. It does have kind of a sweet smell to it.
She'll hold the glass and sniff it. Potassium's a little high. It's probably a high fish diet. And she will drink it.
It tastes oddly like pumpkin pie.
Sophie will smile at that and then lay down on the couch and close her eyes so that the room stops spinning.
After some time passes, things seem to kind of slow down. They're not moving so much anymore. When you hear a loud crashing sound from downstairs. And then you hear some heavy footsteps. The door opens.
Sophie will bolt upright from the loud crash.
The door opens. Hodges is no longer wearing his jacket. His sleeves are kind of rolled up to the elbow. And you see there's a little bit of red on his hands. And he goes over and begins washing them in the sink. Oh, I see you're up again. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm much better now. I've composed myself a bit more.
Very good. He takes a towel, dries his hands off, walks over, and sits down in front of you. When was the last time you saw Devlin?
Ooh. I suppose it's now been about 2 weeks or so.
2 weeks. Yes, that sounds about right. He came to me some time ago, asking for, well, he and I had met a little beforehand and built a bit of a rapport. He came to ask me a favor. should he not report back to me after a period of time, to come looking for you. Seems to care about you very dearly. Now, I don't know the nature of what it is he was doing, but I understand he did have to leave town for a bit. And I have not heard from him since I spoke with him.
Yes, he was doing some work for the local keeper and had to follow some leads outside of town. I do not know where he had to go, only that it involved some quite nasty kindred.
When you bring up the keeper, his eyes kind of seem to lock on you for a moment. Nasty individuals, do you happen to have any information about them?
Well, fortunately, Duncan really would have been the one to have more information. I have met with some other kindred, though many of them are not quite as distinguished as yourself, but they were looking into these people as well, and they may have more information.
Fascinating. These individuals that are giving you and Duncan some trouble wouldn't happen to be from Chicago, were they?
That is likely, yes.
More and more interesting. Well, seems things are a bit fortunate. If you are tied up in this, then I guess we have mutual acquaintances. I presume you've met Mr. Novak.
Yes, he's actually quite distinguished like yourself.
Well, that is interesting, because Mr. Novak spoke to me sometime this week, asking for my assistance in this matter. I must say I was on the fence.
Yes, well, he is the sort of gentleman that'll open a car door for a lady.
Truly a gentleman. What, here's what I'll do. I will help you look into the Duncan situation and figure out what's going on here. In exchange, I would ask a small favor.
Is this a predetermined small favor, or is it a boon?
Oh, I don't like dealing in boons. I like putting everything on the table as soon as possible.
Yes, well, put it on the table, as it were.
I would like you to keep an eye on Mr. Novak for me.
All right.
See, he has
He's
an
not-
associate who I am concerned might be dangerous, and I have a particular level of investment in Mr. Novak. And I would like to make sure that he is guarded. If you happen to see him doing anything particularly reckless where a Victor Adams is concerned, just simply send me that information. And that is all I ask. And I will help you with your Chicago problem.
Yes, well, thank you. I do not believe it will be hard to keep eyes off of Mr. Novak. He is quite handsome.
That he is. Now, I would appreciate it if you do not mention our arrangement. I don't want him to feel as though I'm spying on him, though of course I am. Does that seem favorable? Or agreeable, rather?
I would... It's maybe difficult if that comes up in a situation where I could lose the trust of these new colleagues. That would not go very well for me. They already have a certain amount of distrust as I am newly acquainted to them.
Certainly. I understand. However, given my close affiliation with the lovely members of that coterie, especially Nick, I am more than certain, especially considering you and I already have the connection via Duncan. You being able to, even you being spotted nearby Bode, should not cause any issue for you. And I wouldn't ask you to do any prodding to that effect, just simply let me know what you see.
Yes, well, I will keep the coterie's best interests in line with what would be best for them and for you if it's possible.
That's all I ask. Now, if Duncan is associated with the Chicago situation, we'll be sure to dig him right up.
Yes, I do hope we can find him all right.
Now, it would be beneficial to me in assisting you in this manner. Is there anything that I should know about these individuals from Chicago that you might be aware of or have a inkling toward?
From my own experience, at least with what I've dealt with, they might be exceedingly good at telling people what to do and them following it.
I'm good at that
Against
too.
It's to a very high degree.
You speak through experience?
Yes.
Do you know the individual that might be exceptionally good at this?
I would not know their name. I would know what two of them look like, but not their names, no.
Very well. I will be on the lookout for that. But that shouldn't be too much of a problem for me.
In fact, you actually just reminded me. I think some of them have quite a good hand at drawing. Maybe I should discuss this with them, and then I can at least maybe get you a descriptor.
That would be fantastic. Now that we have become properly acquainted, I do have a house guest that I need to tend to, and I do apologize for the abrupt ending, but I'm not going to send you off walking through the lovely zone we're in alone. There is a golf cart around back. You are more than welcome to take. The person who had it won't be needing it anymore.
Small issue with that. I don't have a driver's license if I were to be pulled over.
You don't need a driver's license to drive a golf cart.
Yes, well, thank you for the offer. I believe I will take a stroll, though. It's quite nice tonight. It's fair weather.
Very well. Stay safe. He goes over and he opens the door. Pleasure to meet you, Sophie.
Oh, it was very much a pleasure to meet you, and I hope we can talk much more in the future.
Oh, we will again very soon.
You have a lovely home.
Thank you very much.
Sophie will kind of run down the steps and down the street.
What is on your mind as you leave Hodge's home?
Sophie very much liked that Hodges saved her in that situation. It was very gentlemanly thing to do. Asking for her to look kind of almost spy on the Coterie. She doesn't like the idea of that, but based off of some of the interactions with Grei, she's not entirely sure that Grei wouldn't do something that could endanger someone else. So keeping an eye on him and perhaps mentioning maybe the most important situations to Mr. Hodges, but she intends to mostly keep what Grei does veiled from Mr. Hodges. So tell him little things, but maybe not everything.
Very good. With that, all of you at some point will receive a message to come see Matthew. Matthew, where are you holding this meet?
He probably thinks the safest place would be the Ascent. But since two of them haven't been there yet, not sure how the rest would feel about that.
I will say you can confer with your group before deciding on a meeting space. Did that come through? No.
I mean, Grei did not seem up towards letting Sophie stay, so he's probably going to have something to say against it.
We'd have to meet somewhere on neutral territory. I don't want to give up what's ours.
Nick does not respond.
Then I will try to pick someplace neutral with people where we can somewhat talk. It might be a little risky, but public space might be a safe idea.
I would like somewhere where you can hook up a computer. As long as Nick, like in all caps, is there. Are you there, Nick?
Do we have red notifications in this group chat?
Probably.
Sure.
Left on red.
Nicholas. Please don't tell me you only answer to Lyndon now.
You know what? On that note, if he's not going to respond, we'll go to him.
Okay.
Finally, don't call me Nicholas. Sounds like an STD.
So you're going to go meet in his shop?
Yep.
He's a good
And-
place, isn't he?
Nicholas, I'll go ahead and let you set the scene.
He has indeed returned, but he's gathering together the pieces of wood that were broken out. Has noticeably removed the arrow, or bolt, I should say, stake bolt, whatever it's called.
When you pull the bolt away, it takes a moment. It seems pretty embedded in there. When the bolt pops out of the door frame, you see that it seems to be different than a typical bolt. It is still made of wood, but it seems to be slotted with some kind of mechanism on the inside that makes it play out after it's done piercing.
Are they able to be set back in?
It's a little damaged from striking the door and expanding outward, and you kind of taking it out, but parts of it do seem to slot back into space. But it does seem to be kind of loose, as though it's busted.
But no risk of it flipping back open from being jarred.
No, the mechanism itself is destroyed.
All right, and he will keep that on him. Otherwise, he's just kind of tossed the wooden shards and is just sitting down at his desk, an unlit cigar in his hands, kind of a 1,000-yard stare.
St. Petersburg by Night is brought to you through collaborations with our partnered vendors: Wolfpack Dice, Ember Fox Dice, Dragon Ink Dice, Bear the Bard, Champs Tramps, Panchi Artista, and Chromatic Creations US. Links to our partnered vendors, as well as our Twitch and YouTube channels, can be found on our website, stpetebynight.com. The official theme song for St. Petersburg by Night is Vampire by Faith and Failure. You can find them at faithandfailure.com. You can follow SPbN on all socials with the hashtag StPeteByNight. If you wish to support our program, you can do so at ko-fi.com/StPeteByNight to help keep the stories rolling.
At this point, I will say the rest of you arrive and find him sitting in the chair.
Too good to answer your phone?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Nick's back. It's almost like Christmas every time I meet you. Can't figure out who you are until you talk.
Can I do a roll to see if I notice the state of the room from that?
You're in the same room? Like, you're in your office upstairs?
Mm-hmm. Didn't patch up the hole, just cleaned everything up.
You see that there is a kind of large open socket's not the right word, but an empty space, like a shelf, in the wall over by the door, across from where Nick is sitting. You see some fragmented bits of wood around the area, but it looks like it's been mostly cleaned up. And you see the door frame is damaged.
Were you attacked? Did the Chicago people come in to attack you?
Seems kind of ballsy if there are people downstairs.
No, it's unimportant. Apologies, so do you have a plan, Mr. Halden?
Did they take Alex?
Alex is unavailable for now.
So did they take him?
No, they did not. So, are we waiting on Miss Clews and Miss Haywood, yes?
I said the group arrived, so everybody should be there.
Okay, then never mind. So, do we have a plan?
I'm still working out the kinks. But to be honest, the more I try, I think I'm just a little too close to home, so...
Did you get a location?
We did. I know that we picked one in the neutral zone last session. Muted.
Yes, a place kind of close to the Anarch territory, but not quite crossing the threshold, still in the neutral zone. A set of apartments that are currently being built in the area, but nobody is currently in them.
It's a prisoner exchange, right? We go in, we give them ours. We take theirs. We leave. Where there is a show of force. And then all hell breaks loose.
I believe that pretty much sums it up, yes.
Do we have escape routes?
He'll pull up the location on Google Maps, legitimate satellite view, turn the laptop around. Now we can make some.
Well, that's incredible.
I assume you mean the laptop, Miss Clews.
I mean you can see the place you're discussing, and you're turning it on the street. You can see the views. That's amazing.
Yes, I am a technical god, Miss Clews.
Farrah, I'd like to roll a insight check on Nick. Is Nick just acting usual mopey Nick, not Lyndon, or is he something's wrong?
Yeah, give me what's an insight.
Three successes.
3 successes. Yeah. Typical moody Nick tends to be a bit more conversationally productive. There is something bothering him.
Sit down. Nick, what's wrong? Something's obviously bothering you. Your heart's not in this, and we kind of need everyone's heads and hearts to be in this because it's already going to be dangerous. So, are you able to assist, or do you need to sit this one out?
I can't honestly say. My name is Nicholas.
Oh, can I go back to
Estella?
calling you Nicholas?
And you see a twitch at the eye as just as he was about to make a flippant comment. I guess it doesn't quite matter what someone calls me. Not right now. But the job needs doing.
Speaking about someone's heart not being in it, Matt, this is bigger than some stupid bust or some stupid ring. And we had a better plan then. You had a better plan then.
Which is why I'm consulting with all of you. Because it was less important to me when I scaled houses and conned rich fuckers, the stuff I was stealing didn't really matter to me. I didn't have to worry about... I mean, I still worried about things going wrong. But it was easier to just drop, cut my losses, and go. I cannot mess this up. Because if I mess this up, she doesn't come out of this okay. She comes out of this worse than just a broken bust.
Your previous work. Do you ever go in to a job with the mindset that you're going to lose?
No.
Then you can't go into this thinking you're going to lose.
It would be easier for that if I hadn't already lost her once. And I was cocky and arrogant and thought I was invincible.
What did you learn from it?
Prison sucks and don't trust your friends who you thought were friends. But if I go into that mentality here, then I'm totally screwed.
But you got her back.
But I was already different. And it was a risk then. Because had it just been me stepping out into the sun and her greeting me at the door, it would have been a much easier life, but I didn't have that option anymore at that point. So I had to be very careful and watch what I said or did or acted around her. Because if anybody could see through all my bullshit, it was definitely Mina. So I need to, again, be cautious and careful. And I cannot afford to make mistakes. And I know, as much planning as I can do, I will make mistakes.
You know how to act. You know how to play a role. You're going to deliver Edwin, and you are going to be just like this. You are going to show them how much you want her back. You are going to expose all of this emotion that you feel right now to them so that they can see it. Because that's going to make them believe that it's honest. And that what you're doing is exactly what they want you to do. That's what you need to be focusing on. Got it? You're playing a role here. You're playing the desperate man. Be desperate, but keep it at arm's length. It's a mask. It's something you're going to have to wear, because when everything goes to shit, you're going to have to get her out of there. And you're going to have to drop the desperate man and be her hero.
Nick sits forward. Tension and finally emotion behind his eyes as he looks up. Matt, catch. He flips his coin over to Matt as he pulls the laptop back around. So, what do we know? We know they have a NUS, which means we're going to have to be really careful about fuckers in the shadow. We don't know how many they have. We don't know what types of abilities they have. So it's a matter of figuring out how to get in, fuck their day, and get the back out while surviving fucking their day. Most important thing being Mina.
I think one can see things that are hidden. He acted like it. He didn't see me, but he acted like it.
There may be one that is Malkavian.
I
Cameras.
am. Go ahead.
Cameras, Nick. Cameras. You need to be on the cameras in the earpieces. You need to be telling us what you're seeing on those cameras. They can hide from our eyes, but they can't hide from the cameras. Not
They may
unless
not
they're... If they can hide from the cameras, we're dead already.
There's a step beyond cameras that I can use. If I feel that sight is failing me, I'll move to cameras. But the best thing I can do is to stay in one place nearby and keep as much focus on the truly big picture that I can.
I can assist with cameras if you need me to. I'm decent with technology.
That will help me out, yes.
And I
Especially
can
if the sight
also make
fails me.
sure that it remains quiet if it gets loud.
We're gonna hide the.
Department.
Sorry, go ahead.
I have some friends in the police department.
Oh, that's useful. What do you think, what are we going to do with the real Edwin while the fake one is being presented? Where are we hiding him?
I'm expecting him to use that ring to hide himself. If it takes Nick to see through it, they're not going to see him coming.
And that was not an easy feat either, for all my prodigious skill.
Worst comes to worst, we can make him hide where you put the spare tire in the trunk of the car. I'm sure he can fold.
kind of want to get a picture of that. Just for personal record.
Bella, I think you should stick to the silence and the shadows as well.
Of course.
That's what I was thinking. And, if you want to bring the stabby with you.
Okay.
Miss Clews, I'm honestly not sure how you factor into this. I know you have an associate or a friend on the other side, and I don't know what they'll do if they see you along with us.
Can't remain hidden. I do worry that they may be able to see through that, but I'm not going to abandon Duncan to them. Even if this exchange is made and I don't see him or any trace of him, I'll at least have more knowledge of these people and what they have.
I will keep an eye out for him while I maintain my watch.
We could, if need be, use her as a smokescreen? Literally?
Maybe.
Give her the cans, have her throw them. We need to, mask and exit.
She can stay hidden as well as Bella can, and that's one more advantage on our side. So Miss Haywood on the cameras, Nick with concentration, hopefully exposing them as much as he can. Bella and Miss Clews in the shadows, you and me up front, Matt.
Have we already given them the location? Okay.
Yes.
They most likely have already checked it out. So they might have people there.
Exactly. I suppose there's always a scorched earth policy, too. Should worse come to worse. Of course, Miss Mina being out first, being of the what's the word? Priority? Yes.
Yeah, let's save that for last-ditch effort. And you can have the matches if you'd like.
It's merely a matter of practicality, Mr. Halden. If you're going to leave enemies, might as well set them on fire.
Nick, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Well, actually, no. 1 question and 1 statement. Statement. Drop the Mr. Halden bullshit. That was my father. 2, did you hit your head? What is up with you? Am I the only one who really misses Blanche?
There's a twitchiness to, not exactly the head, but the facial muscles and the eyes. Mannerisms that you can tell is Nick, and then odd mannerisms. There's a reason I'm not connected to, and you look at Bella, I'm not connected to the web. Sounds like a good idea when your sense of self is so, lack of a better term, fractured. Currently, you're getting what I can best provide. And what I feel right now, Matt, is saving someone who's important to you. Because there's no pain greater than losing them. And he'll look Matt right in the eye. There are still stains of blood at the corner of his eyes.
When you say this, Nick, you hear in the back of your head, "Oh, do you think that little harlot he's trying to take care of is more important than your boy?"
He'll just tap his head, looking at Bella, and shake it. and not respond.
I know you can hear me, Lyndon. It's been such a long time.
Let's move the conversation along. I have an unwelcome guest.
You make a composure and resolve.
I'm going to blood surge. And use tempered will for the same, if I may.
Tempered will help. Yeah.
Okay. I'll get tempered. Just missed that messy. So 9 crit, regular crit.
You shake the voice away.
When he was doing that, I want to see if I could do something similar to what I did with Charlie in trying to hear her on the cobweb.
That was a while ago. What did we do there? Okay. That's right.
I have a 1, so I can hear things. It's broken, and it's not very, it's like intermittent, but...
Tell you what. Give me what's in the specs.
Okay. I'm spending a willpower because that was a bestial failure, and no. 3 successes. Or a bestial failure. Not sure which.
It's not nearly as powerful as when you found Charlie. But you do have a moment where you kind of tune in. I'll say with that roll, you kind of get the, conceptually speaking, the idea of a couple of visually what you would see in this situation to kind of create context is like a couple of spiders that are currently in conflict with each other, caught and tangled up in each other's web. But then you see legs creeping from behind that the two don't seem to notice. And that little portion, that little corner of web and the greater scope of things is slowly snipping itself away.
The one that they don't see is snipping itself away?
It seems to be.
Interesting.
That's the best I've got, man. There's your foundation. Make it better. Because we both know that I suck at plans.
It's not a bad plan.
No,
come
it's
on,
not a
man.
bad plan.
It's all.
You have designations for everybody. Seems pretty straightforward. Not overly complicated.
No, but I have an additional. If I'm not sure, you said there was somebody there that's like you guys.
I think there's somebody who can see when I hide. I saw somebody looking, and they weren't like looking. They were looking like I can look. They didn't see me though, so they might not be that good. Or I just got lucky.
So like we can if we try. Okay. All right. Never mind.
Sophie said there might be a Malkavian.
I'm not sure, but it could absolutely be. There could be one.
And your connection, it's. I feel it's kind of ignorant to ask because I don't know the scope of it or the complexity. It has everybody connected, like when Ben did that weird tongue juju on all of you.
That wasn't quite the same.
The web is complicated, Matt.
Ever look at Picasso painting? You think that's simple? That's what I see. I see complicated everywhere. Okay, never mind then.
Think of a Picasso painting broken into thousands of little pieces and then put together wrong but spread out over a whole building instead of just one painting. That's closer to the complications of us and the web.
Okay, so it's not something you guys can easily and perfectly navigate.
No, it takes practice, and even then, it's still complicated.
It's not exactly safe either.
Okay. Because I was thinking if you guys could, tune in to see if there is someone there that's not one of us. But yeah, if it's not safe for all of you, then never mind.
This is going to come to violence. Plainly put, how many of you are trained?
I think you know my capabilities.
I've seen you
I
fight.
can't even punch you when I really want to.
And I've seen you fight. I've never actually seen if Matt can fight. And Miss Haywood, Miss Clews, I have no idea what you're capable of, to be honest.
I would much rather prefer to run.
I took some boxing lessons, actually. So in the heat of it, I might be able to fend someone off, but I'm not particularly that enthused for violence. Mostly self-defense if we have to.
Self-defense it is. Edwin did say he would take on the destructions himself if necessary. But
So don't
Be
put any
sure-
of us into harm's way.
be sure that you can get away if you're going to come to this. Be sure that you can look after yourself.
Kind of missing Alex right now. It's a shame.
Having Alex on a rooftop nearby would definitely put my mind at ease.
I would feel so much better with him pointing something at them that... Yeah.
How long is he indisposed, Nick?
There's no telling. He's on his own errand.
You did give him a lot of freedom.
Only know. Anyway, and he's in the meantime he's printed out the grids using the office printer of the area surrounding the building as well, so that
Bellatrix and Nick. At this moment, something out of the corner of your eye pops. You turn and look, and you can tell that this is your sight alerting you to something. Muse looks like she is standing and on fire. All of a sudden, you feel the need to move and do something, or step back and do nothing. But you have to make the decision right now. You gain the
Nick's
sense
moving.
that Muse is in danger. Oh, no, sorry, not Muse. Sophie. I'm tired. Sophie's in
Nick's
danger.
moving to help her. Sorry.
Is there do you have any like cloth or anything in your office?
Actually, yes. Mainly to deal with just cleaning up some ash, though. They're just like hand towels.
I will grab just hand towels.
Nick's specifically running at Sophie and just yells, "Get down!" And kind of just tackling her.
Sophie. Nick charges at you, shouting, "Get down."
I'll say,
What do you do?
well, don't snap your cap, and I'll lay down.
Okay, so you move with him. Alright, so I won't make you roll. I will make you make a dex and athletics, though. Nick.
I'm a blood search that.
Okay, I have a question. Since I was going to do hand towels thing, but could I assist him in athletics? Because I do have a dot in athletics. Maybe like push
I'll
him
allow
in
it.
the right direction. Okay.
Sure, go for it. Since you also received the premonition. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna spend the willpower to roll one.
Go for it.
Okay, 3 successes.
You charge forward, you go to move Sophie out of the way. You hear the glass in the window that she was standing by shatter. You feel something move through your shoulder. You feel something break in your shoulder. And suddenly you feel a burning sensation as the rest of you watch Nick flip over and he's on fire. Immediately take 1 aggravated damage.
I'll grab my cardigan off and try to smother the shoulder.
Is this
Right,
place up to
have to
fire
do-
code?
Yeah, is this up to
Yeah.
fire code since this
Oh
is
yeah,
our job?
definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to look for an extinguisher,
That's
aren't we?
what I was gonna do.
Yes.
You guys. So who else is going for the extinguisher? We'll just go ahead and get. I'll just get everybody's intent. Who else is getting an extinguisher?
Okay, well,
Okay.
they're already getting it. I'm not going to go for it.
Grei, Bellatrix, and Matt. One of you, whoever has the highest blue wits in investigation, whoever has highest. If the other two have a dot in investigation, you can give a dot to the person making the roll.
I have 6. No, I have 5. Sorry. Wrong.
Yeah, 5.
Do you have a dot in your investigation? One of you can add 1 die to your roll.
Go ahead, Lekar.
While that's happening, what is Sophie? I'm sitting using Sophie and Maggie doing?
I'm trying to smother it with the jacket, but I'm assuming I'll have to do composure because it is fire.
Yes, just don't.
I got 4.
Nick, I need you to make a frenzy roll.
That's unspent willpower, right?
Plus a third of your humanity rounded down.
I'll just ignore the... Shit. That's a 2.
Two,
Yes.
you begin to panic. All right, just a moment. That's the same roll that I need Sophie to make as well. So that is your unspent willpower and a third of humanity rounded down.
Wait, what? Willpower and a third of humanity?
Your unspent willpower and a third of your humanity rounded down. So if your humanity is 7, it should be 2. And what is Maggie doing?
Is there like water nearby?
Just down the stairs, there are 2 bathrooms. Like, right next to the stairs.
Okay, yeah, that sounds a little far. She's gonna try and pull Sophie away from Nicholas, because she's not interested in getting near the fire.
It's 5 successes.
You do not frenzy.
Okay.
But Maggie is going to attempt to pull you away. Do you fight that?
I'm going to say, Maggie, it's pure cotton. It's great for this. And I'll continue to try to smother Nick's fire with the cardigan.
Are you still going to try to pull her away?
No.
If
'cause
you
she
are,
will
that's
kind of-
fine.
I'm thinking.
Mhm.
She will pull, and Maggie will kind of gesture to Nick. He's going to start running and panicking. If you are in his way, he will remove you.
I have to at least try.
I need an answer. I need an answer
Yeah.
now.
She is not going to try and stop her. She's going to try and help her.
Okay. What are you doing to help?
She's gonna take off her own cardigan and start trying to beat Nicholas's shoulder with it. Just put out
Go
the
ahead
fire.
and give me the roll.
What is the roll again?
That is your unspent willpower and a third of humanity rounded down.
Fantastic. Five.
Okay. You managed to maintain your composure. So the two of you begin trying to beat the flame without getting caught in yourself. What was the roll for the investigation?
I got a 4.
4. It takes you a moment, but you do find a fire extinguisher nearby the office.
He's going to haul ass back in there and pull the pin and put Nick out.
Before we get to that, Nick, you are on fire. You have an option. You can either try to spend a willpower to maintain not going into a frenzy and allowing them to do something, or you can try to take action in your own hand and let it go.
So he saw Sophie in flames, the whole point was to get her out of that danger. I would like to say he gives in the panic in the sense he's literally saying, don't, you're going to catch fire. It's not like he's obviously wants to be put out, but he's also doesn't want her to still catch on fire anyway. So his panic is that's the word I'm looking for. It's manifesting as trying to keep anyone else from catching on fire and getting away from everyone. So he does give in to it.
Okay, in that case, take another aggravated damage. Between the material to beat out the fire and the fire extinguisher finally coming along, Nick is put out. What is Grei doing while this is happening?
Yeah. Grei is, since they found the fire extinguisher and obviously have better eyes than he does, I'm going to activate heightened senses and sense the unseen and move to the window, kind of one side of it, and see if I can catch sight of whoever or whatever has the audacity to fling fire into a room full of vampires.
Give me what's in awareness.
After Matt puts out Nick, he's gonna be like, calm down there, Casanova. You can canoodle your girlfriend later.
4 successes.
You get to the window, look about. Roughly 3 streets over, you spot 3 individuals. One is loading up a rifle. He has a mask on his head. Slings the bag over his shoulder and begins walking, and you see him hop off the side. Next to him, you see a guy who looks like he was holding a scope of some kind, gets up, puts it on his side, he backs away, pops down behind him. The person who is holding the thing they seem to be rappelling down has finally gotten his fastened. He looks up, and you see Alex rappel down off the building. All of them are wearing essentially like a military grade, very dark, blend-in urban combat gear.
Grei will roll around. 3 incoming. Some sort of special ops. And how much freedom have you given Alex lately?
Apparently.
Because he looks like he's at the front of it.
Nick, please tell me Alex didn't just shoot you with an incendiary round?
I'm headed to the door. Better. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, and Matt's gonna follow suit.
I've seen what Alex can do. I'm out.
Not only am I out, I'm obfuscating.
Go ahead and take care of that. Okay, yeah, go ahead. So, how many people just left the building? So Sophie stays with Nick?
Well, Sophie's going to turn to Nick and say, well, that was a bit frightful. Thank you for saving me from that fire. Everyone seemed to have run quite scared.
Sophie, just go while you can. It's safer if you do.
Well, will you be all right here? I mean, do you need a new safe house, as it were?
There's nowhere I can hide. It's fine. Go before it's too late. Please.
I mean, perhaps you could hide with Edwin. I mean,
Miss Clews, please leave the establishment. I'm glad you're okay, but you won't be if you stay. I am asking you, please.
Oh, all right, but you let me know if you need help. Sophie will obfuscate and activate silence and leave the building.
You make your way downstairs. Nick, what are you doing?
Nick has moved out of sight of the window, but his back is against the same wall as it. He can't bring himself to run at the moment. He's just crying after everyone's gone.
As you make your way toward that wall, you notice one of the masked men on the roof across from you. Give me a dex in athletics.
Two successes.
2. Your eyes are still open as you hit the ground, as you feel a sharp sensation in your chest. You hear the sound a few moments later of somebody coming up through the window. Sophie, as you are heading downstairs, you hear a heavy thud from the room you just left.
I'm going to turn around and look into the room.
Give me a wits and awareness.
I'm going to blood surge.
Mhm.
That is 5 successes.
You see a man in dark clothing, military garb, drag Nick torpid to the back of the room and push his back against the desk. You see him kind of lean down, and you can tell that he's speaking. It's hard to tell what's being said. You get a little closer. And you hear the words, "fucking kill you." You see that he is brandishing a knife of some kind, and he is holding him very violently. Do you do anything in this moment? Okay, you're muted.
Do I see any other people?
Nope. The others seem to have become distracted. We'll get to that in a moment.
Okay. Oh man. Oh, this doesn't get me killed so soon. Sophie will approach from behind the man brandishing the knife. She's going to pull the knife from her garter, and she's going to attempt to stab him in the neck.
He is unaware of your presence, so he only gets 1 against you. Please go ahead and give me, you said a knife?
Yes.
Dex and melee.
Two successes.
You take the knife. You walk over. Plunge it into his throat. He immediately backs up. Your obfuscation drops. He begins kind of clawing back at the knife, trying to stop the bleeding or anything.
As he's distracted with a knife, can I attempt to pull the bolt from Nick's chest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me strength and athletics.
Three successes.
You manage to pry it out. Truck, you come back. And now we're going to step back a few moments. You got grabbed and were dragged to the desk. When he has you propped up, he takes off his mask, and you see someone who looks to be a little older than... It looks like a little older version of you. Kind of crouches down. Hey, Dad. Long time no fucking see. You remembered Mom, huh? Do you remember what you did? If it were up to me, I'd fucking kill you. But I'm doing Alex a favor. Because he was more of a dad than you were. And I swear, dagger strikes into his neck. He backs up, and you feel that stake pop out of your chest as you come to consciousness.
He immediately runs to Travis. No.
He looks up at you for a moment, and he has the most intense expression of fear that once he finally locks eyes with you, fades into disgust and then relief before the light fades in his eyes.
Nick starts shaking as his head just lowers to his son's chest.
Please take 2 more stains and give me a frenzy check.
It's a 2.
2 on the frenzy check.
Yep.
You just watched the person you just saved murder your child. The child you had with the woman you loved. You feel this rage well up in you. Sophie, please give me a wits and insight.
Two successes.
You don't fully comprehend the situation that's happening, but what you do clock is you've seen that expression. It's the same one that Duncan had on his face that day.
Sophie is going to dive out the window, attempt to go around the corner and obfuscate.
Okay, that's going to require a couple of rolls. Give me a dex and athletics. How's everybody doing? Great. All right.
2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. Yeah. You managed to hop out the window. It's only like 2 stories, which isn't too bad. For kindred anyway. You catch yourself, you take off. Nick, you are fencing. You are going to attempt with everything in you to murder Sophie. So, I'll let you either roleplay that out, or I can take the character from you. But if you're going to do it, full intention is to murder Sophie.
That scavenger. That thing. That had at last seemed to fall back completely. The thing beyond the limpet, the Nick, even Blanche, maybe. And it comes roaring back. Everything's taken. Everything's gone. And once again, kindness has paid him back in kind. And he's going to take something back. He wastes no time leaping out that window. And he is... He has every trick in his book going that he can, which is including Since the Unseen.
So for the both of you, I'm going to need a Wits and Aspects and a Wits and Obfuscate.
Do you need me to Dex and Athletics as well to follow Sophie?
Yes.
If I'm frenzying, how do rouse checks work?
Okay. We're going to
Should
do
I
this
go with that?
then. I am just going to take the character.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me Wits and Obfuscate.
Do you do blood surges for each when you want to activate it, or is it once per scene?
It is once per scene, but as long as it's maintained. Yours would have dropped the moment you stabbed Travis.
Okay. So could I attempt another one?
Yes, absolutely. You just have to do the other rouse check and...
Ignore this one because I didn't add the dice.
That's
Like
the
one
Wits and
success.
Obfuscate. Okay. You turn the corner. You activate the ability. How do you move forward?
I'm just going to keep trying to run using turns so that if someone were chasing me, hopefully I can lose them.
Okay. Give me... I'll let you do Dex Assault. Nick, where is your bear?
Oh. You're trying to evade Nick, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do have bolt holes. I don't know if that applies to her, though. Maybe. I mean, she is part of the Coterie. She could get 2 dice in addition to trying to evade him.
Sure.
Please survive.
That's 4 successes.
Okay. You go on, continuing to try to navigate. You can hear that he is somehow following you to some capacity. But after a while, you do seem to lose him, because while disciplines can be used, they can only be used in a very simple fashion while in this state. You manage to use the spaces in the area to break away from him into an alley at some point. And you clock that he moves on. Nick is going to be gone for a bit. He is fully removed from the scene. Coming back, are the rest of you moving individually, or are you grouped up in any way?
I'm moving individually.
I'm not sticking together. Best bet's to split up.
Yeah. Not that the company wouldn't be great, but no.
Maggie is activating a heightened senses and sense the unseen and trying to get out of the area as quickly as possible. And the Bella still has
Obfuscate. I got 3 successes on it.
Yes. Great. Where are you heading?
I'm making a phone call to Victor, hoping he picks up.
Rings a couple of times. And then it picks up. Grei, darling, what's going on?
Victor, baby, can I come stay with you tonight? I've got a problem, and I at least need a night to sort it out.
I always enjoy your company, but
I'll make it worth your while. I promise.
you're not bringing trouble to my door now, are you?
Possibly, but I'll shake the trouble before I get there. Get serious, I swear.
And then cuts off. You hear static kind of sound in your phone. Lose a signal.
Good enough for me. Sounded like I suppose. I am going to try to make myself scarce from this area. Head away from Victor's. And then once I've put enough distance between here and there, I'm going to see if I can find someone with a phone and convince them to give me their phone so so I can make
As you
another
could-
call.
As you continue making your way toward Victor, eventually you hear a voice. Grei.
Turn around.
You see Alex standing with a rifle, roughly 100 feet from you.
I'll put my hands up.
I
I'm going to
don't.
pull the trigger.
That depends on you. I don't care about you or your coterie. Nick did. And that's why we're talking.
If I promise no tricks, can I close the distance?
I think I'd rather you stay there.
Difficult to talk this far away.
We're managing right now. And I've been around you a lot. I know you're real fucking good at talking.
Hard to be open and honest. I'll tell you what. I'll keep my eyes shut.
Give me... Are you being deceitful?
No, because I saw him nearly blow Ben apart the first time he took a shot. So no, I'm not.
Okay. Give me charisma persuasion.
He isn't by any chance swayed by my looks.
He knows you.
I
He
was
is
hoping.
aware of you. Yeah.
Maybe he was harboring something this whole time. Who knows?
Sure.
Four successes.
He reaches at his side and he puts the rifle over his shoulder, switches to what appears to be a sawed off, holds it down to his side 50 feet. You take a step closer, you might kill me, but you're gonna be on fire. And there's no extinguishers around here.
I'm bad with distance. You tell me when to stop.
Yep.
Start walking towards him.
As you get about 50 feet, that's enough. As a courtesy to Nick, I'm going to make you an offer. I don't kill you and the rest of the coterie. But you let me take Nick.
You don't owe me an explanation or a reason.
You won't get one.
I'm gonna need something to tell them. Well, I'm inclined to agree. I'm inclined to let you have everything that you want in this case. I'm going to need something to tell them.
I'll make that easy. If they don't get away from Nick, I will kill them all. And my associates aren't so level-headed. They won't hesitate. At this point, you hear his old radio. Travis is dead. Give me what's an insight.
Four successes.
Alex always seemed like a pretty happy-go-lucky individual. Always seemed to help diffuse Nick when Nick would kind of counter Nick when Nick was kind of being his moody self. The Alex you're looking at right now has a very determined expression the entire time you're talking to him. It does not falter, he does not show rage, he doesn't even show any interest in you. But the moment that message comes through, you see that falter a bit.
How does that change the calculus, Alex? You know I didn't do it. I don't know who Travis is or what he was to you. But I wasn't there.
Travis was none of your concern.
He can stay that way.
Travis knew the risk. He stands up, kind of regains his composure. You have my order. It's non-negotiable.
As far as I'm concerned, he's yours.
If you did want to help Nick in any capacity, don't tell him I'm helping him. And he turns and walks away. And now we shift to Matt. Matt, where did you go?
Matt would probably go find a hotel to stay at.
Give me a wits and awareness.
Five.
As you're moving, you get the sense that somebody is following you. But again, relatively early in the evening for St. Pete, there are a lot of people around. I'll say you gather that while they probably could take the shot, they're not doing it in a crowd full of people. What do you do?
he's going to do his best to keep his composure and play it off so he doesn't draw attention to himself, and try to keep within crowds of people as best he can till he gets to somewhere safe.
Give me Dex and Subterfuge as you're trying to use the crowd.
Or spent a will. You are managing to kind of keep to crowds for the most part. At this point, the radio message comes through. I'm going to make a roll. They have a pool of 6 for this. If they get 3 or more successes, they'll regain their composure. If they fall below 3, they fail. Four successes. After a while, you clock the individual. Something seems to have shifted, and you see them flee. After a moment, you deem that it's safe. You make your way to the location that you're heading. Where does Maggie go?
Maggie is probably going down a couple different alleyways and going down like a couple of blocks before making her own phone call for Jarvis to come and pick her up.
No one pursues you. It doesn't take long. Jarvis finds you and takes you from the scene. Bellatrix.
So as Bellatrix is moving, I will be texting Ophelia. Take Sarah, get on a bus, keep on the bus until I contact you again. Don't ask questions. And then I'm closing the phone, and I am heading to Ben's place in the neutral zone.
You flee the scene. All of you make it to, well, Sophie, after you manage to get away from Nick. Where do you go?
Sophie, after having gotten away from Nick, is still attempting to obfuscate. She is going to head to the one place that the Coterie and possibly these hunters wouldn't know about.
Oh, okay. You managed to leave the scene. And then finally we come to Nick. You come to your senses after a while. Everything's a blur. You don't remember much of anything. You remember watching your son die. You remember feeling powerful rage. And as you take a moment to look at your location, the first thing that catches your eye is there's blood everywhere. The setting is what you perceive next, as you see several destroyed books, instruments, tables, and chairs, as you have slaughtered the people spending their evening at Books and Bourbon. After a moment, you hear sirens in the distance. And that is where we bring tonight's session to a close. Thank you, everyone, for tagging along so far.
This has been a St. Petersburg by Night production. Bloody Strings is produced in agreement with the World of Darkness and Dark Pack. The storyteller for Bloody Strings is Devlin. Tonight's characters were voiced by Kyrie, Noree, Lekar, Truckexe, MissyMew, and Kendall. Visit our website at stpetbynight.com for more information about all of our productions and how you can become a part of our community. Thank you for listening. Until next time, fangs, stakes, and claws out.